So it wasn't too long ago, just a few months ago, that it was announced that Dolphin was coming to Steam, and that was going to be extremely beneficial. I mean, being able to easily play GameCube and Wii games on your Steam Deck or through just Steam on your PC, big picture mode, all that stuff, the easy controller options. It was just going to make things easier for a lot of people. So I think a lot of people were excited for it, right? This PC Gamer article talked about it back in March. And a lot of people, yeah, we were excited. I was excited. But now, freaking Nintendo, they gotta jump in, and some people called it, but Nintendo, they sent Valve a DMCA notice to block the Steam release of Dolphin. Freaking ridiculous, man. It never fails, right? What's going on here? A DMC notice to get rid of an emulator? Emulators are perfectly legal, and the listing on the Steam page, like the wish list page or whatever it was, the main Steam page, there was no mention of like Nintendo, their copyrighted materials, nothing. They didn't even show like Mario or anything like that. But Nintendo, they got, they got to protect everything at all costs, apparently, right? It just makes little sense. So it's been indefinitely postponed, the developers say. Hopefully they could get this worked out. But knowing Nintendo with their fat stacks of cash and their freaking ninja lawyers, who knows how this is going to go down. But they just received this takedown notice. According to this article, they released the Steam page on March 28th and announced it on the Dolphin blog, writing, "We're pleased to finally tell the world of our experiment. This has been a product of many months of work, and we look forward to getting it into users' hands soon." So they say they have the legal notice here that PC Gamer reviewed, which was dated May 26th. So that's today. The DMCA notice just went through today. So here's what it says. Because the Dolphin emulator violates Nintendo's intellectual property rights, including but not limited to its rights under the Digital Millennium Copyright Act, anti-circumvention and anti-trafficking provisions, we provide this notice to you of your obligation to remove the offering of the Dolphin emulator from the Steam store. What? Anti-circumvention? It's a freaking emulator, man. This isn't a tool to hack a system. This isn't a tool to hack the Nintendo Switch. This is an emulator. There's been like lawsuits with emulators before. The Sony thing, they mentioned it down here with Bleem. Okay, so moving on with what they say here. Under the DMCA, notices like this one are sent to service providers, Valve in this case, who then must notify the alleged infringing party. The Dolphin development team has the option to file a counter notification with Valve if it believes the emulator doesn't violate the DMCA notice as Nintendo claims, or to comply with the takedown. If the team does file a counterclaim, Nintendo has about 2 weeks to decide whether to sue. So is this team going to want to risk that? Are they going to counterclaim them and be like, no, we're within our rights? Are they confident? Are they good? Are they prepared for the possible Nintendo lawsuit? As Nintendo, they throw around money to do things like this. Like for most average people on these development teams, running these kind of things, they don't have those kind of funds. Like I don't personally know the Dolphin team. Maybe they're rich beyond belief. I have no clue. Maybe they're a team full of lawyers ready to go. Who knows? But most people would just kind of back down because they don't want to deal with it. And that's kind of crazy. Even when you're within your rights and you're legal, like, hey, you create this emulator, it doesn't violate anything, not using your BIOS, not using your imagery, not including your games. It's up to the users to decide how they use it. Like if Nintendo's going after Dolphin on Steam, why haven't they gone after Dolphin altogether? It doesn't make any sense to me. So let's continue reading what they got to say here. The question is whether Nintendo would truly pursue legal action in this case, and if it did, what would happen? A ruling in either direction would have far-reaching implications for emulation. That is the scary thing. Like if Nintendo did sue against them, then it could get like tons of things removed. They start going after all sorts of different emulators, front ends, stuff like that. It could be crazy, man. As most, if not all, emulators of modern game systems could likely be held in violation of the DMCA's anti-circumvention provisions if Nintendo were to win the case. I'm beside myself here. If a ruling went in Dolphin's favor, it would likewise be a major vindication for the emulation scene. Hell yeah, it would. Previous lawsuits to do with emulation filed by Sony against Bleem and Connectix both found that the emulators had not violated copyright with their use of the PlayStation BIOS and firmware. Those lawsuits have long been used as a precedent to uphold emulation as legal in the US, but it's a complex topic, and Nintendo's case here would likely be argued on different legal grounds. This is just kind of crazy. Like these little things, some people may look at this and be like, oh, it's just one thing, but it could just turn into something huge, right? And you know, Nintendo's a extremely profitable company. I don't understand it. Like with I get it. Like they want to protect the Switch. It makes sense to me. It's a console currently on the market. I get it. Sometimes they go a little like overboard with their reach on going after people with certain things. But all these older consoles, like it doesn't. How's it harming them? You know, to emulate it. Even the people who emulate Switch games, like Nintendo's still making a buttload of money. They weren't going to buy the game anyway, you know, or they do buy the game and then they dump it and emulate it on their PC. So it just seems kind of like they just chase around. I understand you have to protect, you know, certain things, but some companies just go a little crazy with it. And to me, this seems a little nuts. I'm no legal expert, obviously, but I'm sure plenty of us are going to be a little disappointed to hear about this, right? So continuing on, they say the DMCA letter that was sent to Valve cites the anti-circumvention language of the DMCA and specifically claims that the Dolphin emulator operates by incorporating these cryptographic keys without Nintendo's authorization and decrypting the ROMs at or immediately before runtime. Thus, use of the Dolphin emulator unlawfully circumvents a technological measure that effectively controls access to a work protected under the Copyright Act. Sounds like a lot of mumbo jumbo to me. Holy crap, why haven't they gone after him before? Why is it because it's on Steam? Because it's extremely visible and people will clearly use this on the Steam Deck? And Nintendo's like, no, we want our handheld to play Nintendo games, nobody else's. Like, what is going on here? So for the time being, Dolphin will remain off Steam. Its GitHub page and website remain unaffected. The emulator developers have received no direct contact from Nintendo or takedown notices targeting the other places where the emulator is hosted. That's what I'm saying. What is going on here? So it looks like the Dolphin team states it is with much disappointment that we have to announce the Dolphin emulator and Steam release has been indefinitely postponed. We were notified by Valve that Nintendo issued a DMCA against the Steam page, have removed Dolphin from Steam until the matter is settled. We're currently investigating our options and we'll have a more in-depth response in the near future. So it looks like they asked for Valve for a comment and they didn't get a reply as of yet. So I haven't seen any update. But I just think this is nuts. I wanted to bring this up to you guys because it could set off like a whole chain of events here. If Nintendo, you know, just depending on how the Dolphin team approaches this, how Nintendo reacts to it, it just seems nuts. It's crazy. Calm down, Nintendo. People are buying your games, but they want to emulate some of your older stuff as well. Relax. I know they won't listen to me, but relax, damn it. Let me know what you guys think. Bye.